Hi lovelies, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. You guys, today I would love to share with you my personal story, and it is Christmas time, so I know I want to inspire somebody out there that is watching Immaculate Show. I hope if you come to know my story, you are going to take the first step towards achieving what you want to do, the business you want to make, the project you want to start in 2025. Which one do you want to start with? I know it starts today as you hear my story. It's about how I started with my business with just 25,000 Ugandan shillings. 25,000 Ugandan shillings is around $6. $6.7. Yes, it was only 25,000, but it grew up into a business worth some good millions. In fact, I developed a brand and at the same time a name, and I expanded. I gave jobs, I employed people. So what are you talking about right now? I want to talk to you who is waiting for a perfect time. There is no perfect time. I'm talking about the business that I started after my university. I'm even not talking about Immaculate Show. I'm not talking about Secret Correction. I'm not talking about Imac Fashions. I'm not talking about Imac Real Estate Investment. I'm talking about that business that I started before I even knew what business is all about. You guys, if you sometimes you're there waiting for a perfect timing to have huge amount of money for investment. No, this is your sign to start right now. Most of you are going to start writing what you want to do in 2025, the plans and other things. But sometimes those are bullshits. Yes, I've said it. What you need to do not take any business idea for granted. Any business that can come into your mind, especially if you can start with zero or less capital, start today. However, it might seem to be for low lives people, but you guys, as you watch me, these businesses that are starting with low or less capital or no capital, those are the business that you can put your mind on, you can put your expertise, you can put your experience, you can do branding, and in no minute, you'll start flourish, you'll start reaping. I'll be diving into my story, and of which this story you're going to get it in clusters. It is in my book of how I started a business of 25,000 shillings at age of I was by then I was like 24 to 25 years. It all started with an idea. I remember I was in an office. I was working with one of the NGO in Uganda, which is very prominent in Western Uganda. So I didn't have much. I was earning around 400 dirham, that is 4,000. And I had responsibilities. I'm a go-getter. I felt, no, I can do better. I didn't even know how to do this business, but it came in me. I was looking for a business that I can sit at home, I can do after work. I even didn't know that social media was even existing by then. Did I have a smartphone even? I don't know whether we had even, I don't know WhatsApp by then if I had it. Because my first phone was given to me, was a very big phone like this at university. So if you're watching me and you're at university, you're holding an iPhone and you don't have a business, here, really my story is going to inspire you. I dived in and learned how to make cookies with pancakes. When I talk about pancakes, I'm not meaning English pancakes. I mean local pancakes made of bananas, yellow bananas, plus millet flour or cassava. I remember the first time I started baking, I burnt all. There in my small kitchen, that was my first step to greatness. I started with 25,000, which is around $6.7. To many, that was just pocket change, not even pocket change, it is breakfast in Uganda. But to me, it was a seed to my future. And it was also a seed to some other people that I employed. Selling small snacks in my neighborhood, if I'm talking about what you can do right now and I'm telling you snacks, don't think I've not done it. I supplied different groceries around my home. I supplied schools, and within no time, I started supplying even big institutions. Think of it. What was it all about that I used to invest in? I invested 25,000 in, I think, 1 liter of vegetable oil, sugar, with some baking simple spices like ginger and some of those things. I baked mandas from home, and I started from that onset. I remember my dad told me, I cannot educate you, you cannot be a graduate and you go to bake pancakes. Little did he know that at one time, if I tell you, it did not take 6 months, my dad was a supplier, became my big supplier of firewood. Firewood is what we used to use in a bakery, or what we use in a bakery to bake mandazi and to bake bread, any kind of bread. My first batch was very small, but I sold it out, and it was very good and promising, and the day was back. It was not hard for me to learn from the job. I got some people who were learning from job. I still did it. That was my first job. I could use that little money to start something meaningful. What about you? Do you think on you right now, as we enter 2025, you want passive income, you want to make money online, or you want to do a side hustle? Do you think you can have 25,000? Okay, now that was by then. Can you have 50 dirham? Can you have $10? You can start something. And if you want to know what you start, you can check in our banks of videos what we have been talking about. You can start a lot of things. I thought about what people needed every day. This is what motivated me. Seated behind the desk at the institution that I was working for as administrative assistant, I learned how to bake mandazi. I learned how to cut granules. I learned how to seal them. On top of that, my first sealing or my first blending was to seal these things with a candle. You get a paper, you just burn on a candle. My first big batch was in a school, in a very reputable Catholic school, that I got a tender that I was supplying more than 100 packs on every day. After much reflection today, I decided to start again, and I push you, especially to start with you who is watching me. A person who says you cannot put a meal on your table. That person who feels you want to drive 2025. That person you want to hold the hand to somebody in 2025. This is your right time to shine. Guys, can I tell you about growth? How I grow. Most people around my area used to ask me, where did I steal? Others thought I'd gone underground. But nevertheless, it was because I started off and I knew where the problem was, and I wanted to solve it. Right now, if you go to our city, everybody is investing in that. Does it mean that I should not, or you should not start the same business? You can start the same business. You bring new strategies. This 2025, you can beat the competition. Start with something right now. With time, my snacks business grew. I started getting orders from shops, from everywhere. I never took profits personal. I used to pay my workers, to pay accommodation, to pay the suppliers. But I wasn't disciplined at all. I didn't have mentors. I didn't have people that I'm looking up to. I didn't have people to tell me how to do things. I was just relying on what I thought was right. Now that you're going to start in 2025, which business do you think you can start as soon as possible? You can start as low as you can. Just go in your neighborhood. I want you to go to your neighborhood. Check any business that is there. You don't need to start from a new business, a new idea. If you have a new idea, it's okay. But start with an existing idea that is around you with less cost and with less manpower, without inconveniencing any of your schedules. Start from there. The only thing I want you to do, I want you to learn from me. There are very many lessons that I got from this, and I still give them to you right now. In 2025, you need to make best of $10. You need to make best of $1. How are you going to do it? No idea is too small. Get to know this. Don't underlook any business idea. 2, start with what you have. Don't wait to buy a very big gadget, a very beautiful phone, iPhone, no, or to accumulate money, no. 3, consistency is the key. When I started, I remember, when I start something, bringing me down, it takes miles. I was consistent. Even one day's sales, they count something very big for me. Schools used to be closed in a weekend, but still on Saturday and Sunday, I used to surprise somewhere. Let's go. How do you learn? You might ask, how did I learn? I learned from different people. I hired personalities that had made the same. That is when I started growing. That's why I employed people, and I continued tapped into the innovation of social. It wasn't social media by then, but I used to research. How do you make crunchy mandas? How do you pack? This is what I used to do. So in everything that you do, these are lessons that I learned, and I really want to impact you. 2025, before you enter 2025, those lists that you're going to write, like 100 lists about what you want to do in 2025, don't write them. The only thing, put that one idea and say, I'm starting right away. My story of 25,000 that I got millions out of it is not ordinary. So is you. You're not ordinary. The most important lesson that is here, don't joke with any business idea. Start and believe in yourself. Start small and start moving forward. Thank you very much, you guys. I know in 2025, my story is going to motivate you. Check out for part 2 of this story in another video.